Chapter 17 The Great Earth Woman. Once the notebook was stolen, it seemed that all hope was abandoned. The third-party politician lied to the population, and because of this, they caused so much suffering. And instead of helping, this seemed to perpetuate a pleasant illusion. Oh, how could this have ever happened?
"Just wait, it's coming,"
said Shruti. Had the demon heads planned this? Were they sneaky enough to coordinate such an incident? How had anyone even become aware of such a notebook? That day I wandered the city streets, but nothing made sense. Empty, alone, and dejected. There were no magi to help guide me back into alignment. Around each corner, I sought another sign, but nothing felt on time. Oh, time! Why is my path something you seem to deny? I try and I try, but why is it that I suffer while these politicians prosper from so many lies?
The path is not linear, but rather, the entire journey is like a work of art. In order to find what is most important in our lives, the things that are no longer needed are required to fall apart. You may not have chosen this, but I choose you. The illusion is breaking apart, and so this happens so that we can find what is true,
said Shruti. When I turned the next corner, there was a great temple with crowds of people in line to enter. Of course, I could reconnect with the sacred site, and then maybe my path would come together. But the crowd was so dense, and it must have been a very important place, because the line seemed endless when a man pulled my arm and said, "The line is 4 hours long, but I can get you in." Oh wow, maybe this was just my luck. After feeling such confusion, this could be the key that would allow me to be unstuck. Well, isn't that nice? Yes, I'll get you inside within 10 minutes, but it comes with a price, said the temple guardian. But I just want to pray before God. I suppose I will wait. The line grew longer, and it seemed no one wanted to wait. People skipped ahead, and there was so much confusion. But with so many at the temple, it must have been glorious inside. The sun scorched down while we dripped in sweat. Now another temple guardian tapped me and said, "Come with me, or you'll be stuck for 7 hours. Only I can get you inside." Was this a magi? And should I trust such a stranger? How could I tell who was out to help and who might lead me into danger? The man led me around the giant line, which appeared to be a separate entrance. But then an even bigger line stretched on, while he pushed everyone aside and went in. Confused and lost, something was not quite right. And once we got to the main gate, there were metal railings with another line to direct everyone deeper inside. "Pay me 500, said the man. "For what? To skip all these people? I'm not even sure what's happening." "Pay me now," said the man. Even I wanted God's grace. But why should such a holy site come with a price? There were markets selling offerings all around this temple square, but something was phony and fake. Upon a deeper look, I saw a merchant selling holy books, but I was in shock when I saw the deceiver's name stamped upon it. They'd found a way to use the paths of God for their own profits. Nandi backed away when it was clear we should not stay, and even though I wanted to make a sincere offering to God, I knew this might not be the right place. Why must it be such a show? Has worship become something like a public popularity contest? More and more people asked for money, but Nandi carried us in search of God somewhere else. There was only silence. And why does justice on earth feel so empty? The mystical notebook had given me a connection to an unseen world, and I felt no different than a lost puppy. Feeling helpless without a purpose, I felt such rage as I imagined the power of divinity in the hands of deranged politicians who would go on to scribble sentences and bring their selfish desires into fruition. And shortly after that, the deceiver began his campaigns across the cities, and the closer he got to becoming president, the more the world became filled with fury. Oh, but even I have hatred for the world, and I started to despise our leaders. I wasn't raped by an alien, and if the world is in this rough of shape, then who the hell is responsible? Why, I hated how the world was overrun by demon-headed cowards.
Come,
whispered an unseen one. I couldn't stop my mind because they stole that mystical notebook which leads to fruition. Oh, these idiots. They're going to use power for the wrong reasons, and the only thing that could be worse is that my own demon head had grown out from my shoulders.
Come,
said the unseen one. Now I was one of them, and it was the hate that infected my mind. This slow release of anger was a toxin produced within the body, and I knew this demon condition could get much worse over time.
I have what you need,
said the unseen one.
Can you hear my teacher?
Whispered Shruti.
She's calling from within. We must go to her at once.
Who is it? I wondered.
The great Earth Woman,
said Shruti. The main problem with having a demon head is that you don't really care to listen. Good people are always around to give you advice, but something within is just empty or blocks the pure wisdom. You might hear what someone is saying, like I knew Shruti was right here, but my new demon head got so active and judgmental that a lot of good advice went missing through thin air.
Come on,
said Shruti. Nandi went on to carry us when I took a back seat in the body. It sure seemed like everyone was in an endless line for God's temple, but why does it cost so much money? Oh, if God was out there, then why wouldn't God help those who struggle with poverty? Why would the world create temples, then require you to pay a membership fee? If God saw what had become of the world, I wonder if God would cry with pity. I've got you, said Nandi. But this is all bullshit. Really? How the hell could we ever have a chance when we're judged upon our offerings to God? And just look at this world with so much suffering. Nandi led us deeper into the heart of the city, while my own mind was knotted in a cluster of blame, shame, and pain, as if the whole world had gone insane. Each thought pattern became deranged, between patterns of revenge to wallowing from heavy suffering.
There, the mother's home and the sisters of charity,
said Shruti. Unaware of how there had arisen such inner resistance, it seemed I wore the glasses of chaos. And as we entered this home, I felt the presence of a spiritual being among us. Why, right there, I saw an old wise woman.
Behold, the great Earth Woman.
Her spirit wore a white robe with a blue pattern on the edges, while the luminous soul of the wise woman hovered as if we'd been expected. With a simple gaze, she welcomed us over with what appeared to be the beginning of a smile.
Come here and rest for a while,
she said. I hear your voice, but you don't have a body. How have you been communicating through these words that I've been hearing?
Unseen becomes seen. Invite in the mystery, and so you can know me as the great Earth Woman,
she said. In an instant, she cut through the inner chaos because there arose stillness of contemplative silence. Something within the soul knew, and this was a gut feeling from the intuition to reveal a place that was hidden.
She's my root teacher. Shall we bow to her?
Said Shruti. Victory to the Great Mother, I said and bowed. As soon as I got near her spirit of emptiness, I was full of peace as we stood before the vacant room. This was the heart of the city when I realized this wasn't just a temple, but rather, this was the wise woman's tomb. Where are you?
I'm here,
she whispered. What has happened? Her spirit smiled and said,
I left the body years ago, and yet my spirit still looks over the living.
The heart began to open when my life felt fulfilled. Meanwhile, a vision of her old body covered her pure soul, while she radiated a youthful glow. Pure and present, she held a vibration that could make the soul expand and grow. And there was no fee to meet her, but still I wish to offer something from the depths of my soul. I pray that I may be in service, just like you.
Sit, be my guest. Listen to the wildflowers speak of the concerns from within the wilderness,
she said. So curious. Now what could the wildflowers be concerned about?
I will translate on their behalf. As flowers feel deeply, we notice the same quality in the trees, the leaves, their roots, and even the mushrooms have their ways of communication. And so they ask you, what is it that makes us so different? O pure soul, they speak of the mystery which has been forgotten, and so they call out to you, who will listen, as they reveal that together we have the most important thing in common,
said the Earth Woman. It's the source of creation within us.
Sure, there is the source, but there's something even deeper we have in common, because we share the same spark of life, and this means that we are all here as we grow through the challenges of suffering,
she said. But why?
For the bloom. Why, yes, it's coming soon. But still, nature is aware of how anything could happen, and so each seed must reach and work for the perfection of one's own fruit to come into fruition. Life has its challenges, and so we mustn't take the gift of this precious opportunity for granted. We must choose to grow through the struggles presented before us, for this is precisely why the seed of our soul has been planted.
The Earth Mother winked. Oh, Great Mother, but why is it so hard? I wish for my soul to be of service to the whole world, but my very soul seems to have been covered in so many layers.
What you call as the layers of coverage is none other than the nutrients that live within the earth's soil. This is where the soul grows to reclaim its greatness, but we ourselves cannot reap the rewards of our labors, but rather we produce divine fruit so that it can be shared by others,
said the Great Mother. Oh, but before we go any further, you should know that the demon heads have stolen a mystical notebook. It was something I was given, and there seems to be a demonic group in power. Now they have the notebook that brings everything to fruition. Oh, please, Earth Mother, you must help stop such demons. Otherwise, they will spread their wickedness across all nations.
Oh, isn't that something? But there's no such thing as a mystical notebook. Those pages are of the forest, and they likely cost $1.28,
said the Earth Woman. But I've seen its powers. The mystical notebook brings whatever is written into fruition. I myself am aware of such infinite magic as I've seen my own reality enter into a great transformation.
The power of such pages live within the trees who gave birth to that notebook, and so the forest knows the real power is within our intention. Did you know that a tree gave its life for those pages, and that seed once started buried alive, and through a giant transformation, the seed reached through the dirt and embarked upon a divine climb? And let us ask the wildflowers their opinion. Let us see what else nature has to say. Oh, dear Lotus, maybe you can explain,
said the Earth Mother as she leaned beside a stream and listened to a lotus. As she nodded her head, I couldn't hear a single word. What is it?
Shush! Can't you hear? It's explaining the living miracle, said the
Earth Mother. After some time, we observed how the lotus was ever patient. It waited upon the surface of the water while I listened for it to speak. But after what felt like hours, all I noticed was how the petals were arranged in a near perfect spiral.
Oh, that's a good start. It speaks of the cyclical cycles of nature. What else do you hear? What else do you notice?
Asked the Earth Mother. For some time I sat there with our eyes on the flower in total focus. Then after exactly 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 33 seconds, we heard it.
No mud, no lotus.
It whispered.
Aha! The divine lotus has spoken. So who is the flower of meditation in our wilderness?
Asked the Earth Mother. It is there, I pointed at the flower.
No, it isn't here. You and the lotus share the same journey of suffering. And so with the life you've been given, your challenges are the same. You and this lotus are not separate from one another, for you are of this world as well, and there's something in you that knows how to bloom, just like this lotus. And it takes personal effort to reach such potential. So do not tell me there is a mystical page to write upon, for you do not need a notebook to do this. No need for a pen and paper with magic words to be written. You are the miracle of life, and so you are called to become clear upon your own intention. Will you bloom or will you wither? Reach for the light, because each of us must bring the miracle of our souls into fruition,
said the great Earth Woman. The lotus waited in stillness when I contemplated the whole point of fruition. Maybe I didn't need a mystical notebook to write things down. Maybe the whole universe was listening all along. If that's the case, then whatever I'm thinking, feeling, and experiencing is all being written by my choices and actions. Whatever I imagine, create, and state is what will come in time, and through time, we can become like that lotus. But the notebook, what does this mean for the people who stole it?
It means they are lost in their own struggles and challenges. Know that God's grace operates beyond one's own will and intention. So trust that the Divine Spirit can bring the pure bloom of our soul into fruition,
she said. But what should I do about the mystical notebook?
Just forget it,
she said. What do you mean, forget it?
Can you trust there's a reason they stole it? They created a karmic knot and tied your soul into this. What if life picked you to be here and now, so you could participate in this moment and receive my guidance to the fullest? Time is filled with only one moment. It's right here. And all you need to focus on is your own expansion through the muck of life. And if you reach for the light, I promise you can trust how things will bloom, just like the lotus,
she said. So about the notebook, is it meaningless?
It's just a notebook from the store, and it was given to you as an exercise to make you aware of your own soul's responsibility. We each create our realities, and we must understand how our thoughts, words, and actions hold real power so we can learn to act accordingly. It wasn't the notebook that holds the mystical power, but our intention leads to the evolution from within each spiritual soul. Just like this lotus, it is up to you to bring your journey to fruition, and so we cannot quit, because we each hold real power within our world,
said the great Earth Woman. But it just seems that some things are impossible.
Everything is possible, just not probable,
said the great Earth Woman. As we turned back to the lotus, I realized this flower was a perfect expression of the great Earth Mother. There we listened to the miracle, while it spoke of more pure wisdom.
Within every aspect of life exists a precious treasure, and just as a seed begins covered, we are called through a journey through the mud, and this is a divine process. When our intention is paired with action, we add time before we transform through a profound process. Some call the bloom the miracle of love,
said the great Earth Woman. The miracle of love?
Yes. The miracle of love has taken the form of man and woman. it has taken the form of flowers, birds, jaguars, dogs, children, and trees. The miracle of love lives at the highest mountain top. You can see it in the temples, in the skies, and even the cities or underneath the sea. The real treasure of life sprouts from within you, and it is within me. Even if we appeared covered by the dirt of the world, I have seen the purity of our transformation, as I know that in time our soul will bloom just like the lotus. But even with God's grace, we still must add our intentional choice, which is our responsibility to set our love free,
said the Earth Mother. Yes, I am here to help, even though I do not have a notebook to write things into fruition. So what would you suggest that I do now? Tell me, and I will listen.
Sit beside my grave, and my tomb will give you the instruction. We must be brave, and we must be willing to take action. The world appears to be overtaken by a wicked weed, and so it strangles the life of so many pure seeds that wish to produce the fruit of divine flowers. There is only so much time that is given to each seed, and so this is a choice. What are you willing to offer to help allow each soul to access the pure nutrients that each of us needs?
Said the great Earth Woman. Can you tell me more about this wicked weed?
The world has gone sick by following a path of materialism, which only pays attention to the visible surface of things. But with such a weed growing, so many seeds will not breach the topsoil to reach the light of pure living. Earth was not created as a material production line for humans to indulge in greed, and this thinking has made our world quite sick. If an organism realizes that it is sick, it begins to produce antibodies. You are our antibody, and soon you will have to make a critical decision to help the soul overcome this disease condition. By each of our efforts, we can bring forth self-healing,
she said. How will we know the way?
Since you no longer need a silly notebook to bring your path to fruition, just listen to your intuition, and then you can form your intention. Beyond that, you do not need to ask for anyone's permission. Do it, since we can always ask for forgiveness,
said the great Earth Woman. And what will happen to the Earth? How do we balance humanity's past actions? I wish to help relieve pain and suffering, but how can we make sure the miracle of love comes to fruition?
Oh, the question of time, for she is time,
said the Earth Woman, pointing at Shruti.
And when the wisdom of God overwhelms the intellect, then it is something words cannot express. There is no cure for time, since it is not a sickness, but rather a process. And so, I will show you how to grow with her instead,
said the great Earth Woman.